Hello everybody, it is Zainab. I'm back. We're back on the couch with the computer lights. Ooh. So yeah, of course, if I'm back on the couch, that means that, I hate to say the word couch, sofa. We're back on the sofa. And since I'm back on the sofa, that means that I have something to say. So welcome back everybody. I hope you enjoyed my last video and that you will tune in for this one as well. And so today I am continuing with the topic of authenticity and, being yourself, being your true self, being the person who God created you to be. And I'm going to share a story about my life and how me just being who God created me to be helped somebody. And that's just one person that told me that me being myself and, however that is, however quirky, however different, and not being concerned about what other people think about me, help them to be themselves. So let's start. When I was in the 10th grade, I remember I went to Alonzo A. Crim High School. I went there for 1 year. Crazy fact about me, I went to a different high school every year of high school. Yep. So but that's a whole nother story. So in the 10th grade, I was at Crim High School, and I've always been a person, like, I love fashion, I love clothes, I love jewelry, I love hats, I love whatever. And so I've always been a little bit kind of quirky, just putting together different things. And I don't even know so much that it was so different, but it was different from the area. So if you're not from Atlanta, and this is no shade to anybody because I live right up the street from the high school, so it's not about, trying to categorize anything. I mean, it was in the hood, it was in the hood. And, I don't even remember if we had any white people that went to our school or any people that were not African American. And there's a certain type of dress, everybody kind of dressed the same, kind of does the same thing with the tennis shoes or this or that. I've never been into that, honey. No ma'am. I've never been into tennis shoes, starter jackets, all that kind of stuff. What we used to call when I used to go to a mixed school, people that dressed that way, we would say they were soul. So I've never been into that. And so really the majority of the school was that way. And I wasn't. I was like quirky. I would wear things like black and white striped leggings with a green skirt or orange top. I mean, whatever I felt like doing. I used to love going thrifting. I would just love platform shoes, Doc Martens, just things like that. So I was not the norm. I'm sure I stood out, but to be honest about it, I didn't think anything about it because I was just being myself. So I really didn't think anything about it. So I'm not going to mention the person's name, but I remember this particular young lady, and she would compliment me on my clothes, and she would be like, oh, I want to go shopping with you one day because you just always have some really different things. And, I only went there 1 year, so we never did get the opportunity to go shopping. So I had to be, 15? Are you 15 in the 10th grade? 15, 16, something like that or whatever. And whatever. So fast forward, I start working at my current organization. And I know I didn't start working here until I was in my mid 30s. So we're talking at least 15 to 18 years. I've not seen this person. I've not been in contact with her. I remember her, but other than that, that's it. And, I've just been being myself. And so we ended up at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. And at that birthday dinner, she stood up in front of the whole party. It was not my birthday. It was someone else's birthday. I was just there as a guest. And she thanked me. A tearful, heartfelt thank you. She thanked me for being myself. She thanked me because she told me because I was myself, it gave her, whether it was freedom, license, strength to be herself. And so whatever she wanted to do, however she wanted to dress, She did it because she always remembered me, my authenticity, me being me. And so if I didn't say it before, the title of this video is Somebody's Watching You. There is somebody watching you. Like I said in the last video, everybody is called to influence somebody. And when we say influence, I don't mean manipulate, but every person has a purpose here on this earth. And our purpose, it involves people. And so every person is called to a people group. That's why you can have people that do all the same thing or might be in the same industry or the same profession, but everybody's not attracted to what they're doing. Everybody's not going to want to watch my video, but I have a particular people group that wants to watch my videos, that find me interesting, that the information that I'm sharing is helpful to them. Whether it's they're attracted to my personality, my look, or whatever the case may be. But I'm called to a people group, and you're called to a people group. And so I just want to implore you, I just want to encourage you, I just want to push you, and just to say and encourage you, to let you know that somebody's watching you. You think people are not paying you no attention? Somebody is watching you. Somebody is paying attention to what you're doing. Somebody's paying attention to how you carry yourself, how you dress. If you wear your hair in all different colors and you do it proudly and you walk around with confidence, somebody's watching that, and they're taking something from that. If it's the way that you speak, if it's the way that you do your work, if it's the style of clothes that you dress, or whether it's the topics that you speak about that may seem so interesting or different to somebody, somebody's watching you. You have influence on somebody, whether those are children, older people, young people, whoever. And this is just a little nugget. I want you to understand that if you have overcome anything, once you overcome that thing, now it's your job to help other people to overcome those things. So if you're a person that's overcome anything, whatever it is, low self-esteem, drug abuse, alcoholism, being trafficked, being in debt, baldness, honey, anything, if you were able to overcome it, now it's your turn to go and help somebody else overcome it. And I was watching this young lady's video. I met her at a conference, and I'll share about that another day because I don't want my video to be too long. And she was just saying that, we don't have, tomorrow's not promised to us. And that is the absolute truth. And we all have an assignment to do, whether you are aware of it, whether you know exactly what it is, or maybe you just have an idea of what it is, but we all have an assignment, and we need to be on our assignments, because there are people that are counting on us and counting us to be ourselves, because how can we fulfill our assignment if we're not being the person that God called us to be? And we really got to get out of this place of having excuses about why I can't do this and why I can't do that. If you go into the Bible, you can see there are so many people that were called to do something great, and God told them that, hey, this is what I want you to do, and they had a whole bunch of excuses. Moses, he had all these excuses. Oh, you don't want me to go, I don't speak well, I don't do this, and da-da-da. And look at the great things that God had him to do, even with the mistakes that he made. So don't let your mistakes, or the fact that you feel like you're not perfect, or the fact that you feel like maybe you haven't arrived and you still have some things to work on, there's something that you can be helping somebody with. The more, I feel like the more I believe, not I feel, but I believe that the more that you practice being yourself, the closer and closer you'll get to being your authentic self. And so I just want everybody to remember that somebody's watching you. You have influence over somebody. You're going to make somebody's day today. There's somebody that is waiting with bated breath for you to speak to them, for you to stop and take a moment and just share with them. I think I've mentioned her in my last two, I've only done about 2 or 3 videos, but in my previous videos, Patrice Washington, she has an awesome podcast. It's Redefining Wealth, because it says chase purpose, not money. And there are 5 fit pillars. I should have took notes, but I'm going to do the best I can. But I want y'all to really go and check her out. You can find her on the internet. I think it's Seek Wisdom PCW, or wherever there are podcasts, Redefining Wealth. And she has 5 fit pillars, and one of the pillars is people. And so when I went to the conference, she was there, and I heard her speak again. I had heard her speak. I got an opportunity to chit chat with her, take a pictures with her, and spend 2 hours after the conference, just fellowshipping with her and some of the other ladies that are purpose chasers as well. And it was just awesome. And I am one of the, just like I said, somebody's always watching you. We're watching her. You know, we're watching her. We're gleaning from her. Even though she might not say, you need to do this, you need to do that. You know, she spoke about the 5 pillars when it was her time to speak, but also, you know, just her taking that time, being present with us, taking our questions, sharing with us, you know, whatever it is that we wanted to know. That's an example of cultivating relationships. That's an example of treating people well. And I know that we don't always treat people well. I don't always treat people. You know, there are times I get it wrong. I mess up. And then, but I get an opportunity to go back and do it again. If that means to go back and apologize to that person, people are so very important. And we have to remember, like I said, somebody is watching you, and that, you know, people is a big part of why you're here. When all these gifts, all these talents that you have, I made these earrings, whether it's making jewelry, whether it's designing clothes, whether you do hair, if you're gifted in your hands to cut hair, or gifted in your hands to be a hairstylist, it's not for you. What you gonna do, style your hair 24/7? No, it's for other people. If you're a speaker, it's not for you. Everything that you have to say that God has placed in you to share with other people, it's for other people. You know, if you're an encourager, it's for other people. If you're a makeup artist, and then you'll be able to impact people's lives because you get an opportunity to get in their personal space and, you know, just have a conversation with them, whatever it is. It's not for you, it's for other people. Just like this, it's not for me, it's for other people. That's why, you know, I was kind of just laying around not doing anything, and I began to watch the young ladies live, and then I was like, you know what, let me get up from here, because what has been placed in me and what I have to say, it's not for me, it's for other people. And how dare I deny someone the opportunity to get what it is that God has for them. And I'm going to share this last thing, and I'm going to go in Jeremiah 1:5-10. Well, it says, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. And then this is Jeremiah's response. O sovereign Lord, I said, I can't speak for you. I'm too young. Excuse. You know, God tells us or gives us an indication, an idea, is pushing us and moving, you know, like leading us in the right direction about where he wants us to do and where he wants us to be and where he wants us to do. And then we come back with a bunch of excuses. If he tells us that this is who you are, then at that moment, that's who you are. So you might not have everything that you feel like is necessary to successfully do that. But at that point, you need to start doing things that line up with who God has told you that you are. And so then the Lord replied to him in verse 7, don't say I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you. And don't be afraid of the people, for I will be with you and I will protect you. I, the Lord, have spoken. Then the Lord reached out and touched my mouth and said, look, I put my words in your mouth. And I really do believe this, that whatever God has called us to do, and we're all called to do different things, he gives us everything that we need. And we hinder ourselves with doubt, with negative thinking, with not dealing with the issues that need to be dealt with so that we can be our best selves. And I'll talk about that another day, things that hinder us from being our authentic selves and being our absolute best. But I'm going to say it again one more time. Somebody is watching you. And not only is somebody watching you, somebody is depending on you to be you. Somebody's freedom, somebody's breakthrough, somebody's clarity. They might be looking for clarity. It's dependent upon you. And so until you start doing what you've been put on this earth to do, they're not going to be able to get what they need to get, because you're so busy thinking that it's about me. I'm uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable for me. That's not my personality. You know, I'll do it later. When I get this, I need to lose some weight. I need to do this. I need to do that. Don't do that, because you don't know if you'll be here. You don't know if a person is on the verge of suicide. and it's a word that's in your mouth, and there's a word that God put in you to give to this person to pull them out of a dark place, but because you're so concerned about yourself, you won't release it. Just think about that. You know, I know the Bible says that life and death, the power of life and death is in our tongue. And a lot of times we take that to mean that, oh, if I speak things that are positive, that are life-giving, I'll have life. If I speak things that are not, then I'll have death. But what about if that word that God put in your tongue, on your tongue, is the thing that will save somebody's life? That's really something to think about. That, if not doing what you're doing, that people are dying, people are, unnecessarily suffering, because you're so concerned about what you look like, what you sound like, what credentials you have, and all this kind of stuff. So this week, because I'm going to try to post every week, I want you to challenge yourself and step out and do something that God has put on your heart to do. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later. And in the meantime, continue to be yourself. Push to be yourself. Fight to be yourself. Don't accept anything less. Somebody's watching you. Toodles.